Welcome to Your Inner Advocate, a podcast by Kimen Petersen, formerly Conversations with Kimen. This podcast is a space for inspiration, soulful insights, and meaningful life lessons. Your host, Kimen Petersen, draws from personal stories and powerful conversations with remarkable people to help illuminate your path. These episodes reflect his lived experiences and thoughtful perspectives, all aimed at encouraging you to live life with greater authenticity, joy, and ease. Your Inner Advocate is here to help you tune in, trust your inner wisdom, and move through life with more clarity, flow, and fulfillment.
Welcome back. Today we're talking about the one thing that really separates the people who really make it from the people who don't quite make it. And the truth is, it's not talent. It's not luck. It's not even timing. It's extremely simple. It's just the fact that they tried again anyway. Think about it. You didn't get that result? Try again anyway. You're scared? You won't succeed? Try again anyway. You don't feel good enough? Try again anyway. You're hurt. Rest. Heal. Get back out there and try again anyway. You're tired. Pause. Take a breath. And then try again anyway. Because there's only one path. That's one more time. So today's episode is about the people who feel like they're on the edge of giving up. The ones who whisper, maybe this dream is not for me. In that really tired moment when you've gone through cycle after cycle of things going wrong and you finally say, should I? I'm here to tell you that dream's for you. This dream is for you. You are where you are because that's where you're supposed to be. We don't feel a calling, a passion, a purpose, by chance. If we're driven in a direction, we need to follow that direction all the way to the outcome. In the words of Winston Churchill, success is not final. Failure is not final. But it is the courage to continue that counts. And today, we're working on building that courage. So let me tell you a personal story. Maybe I haven't told a lot of people this. I'm not sure. I'm going to take you back to a moment. So I'd gone through one of the hardest moments in my life. I'd gone back to school. I'd made it all the way to the end of this program. And it was my final big exam. This is what they call it, an oral practical exam. So there's a part where you do an interview, ask specific questions, decide what kind of special testing you're going to do and how you're going to approach it with manual therapy. And I drew an examiner that I'm not sure. They were a very angry person. This is what I felt. They didn't have a clue who I was. And they weren't supportive. They were like, there's two different human beings in this world, the one that's rooting for you and the one that's rooting against you. And this felt like a rooting against. And they did a number of things during this exam which kind of like shook my rhythm and broke my confidence, and I fell apart and I failed that miserably. And I was just sitting there going, I've just fell a meter from the finish line. And I can't get back up. I'm done. Like, my life is over. Like, what's the point? Because the whole time, the underlying thing was I'm not good enough. Like, imposter syndrome is strong in this one. Like, why am I kidding myself? Like, everything fell apart. It's supposed to fall apart. And my brain just kept on going down this direction. So I did end up redoing the exam, like shaking. I tried again anyway. I tried scared. I tried shaking. I tried doubting. And I passed, but I didn't do great, but I passed. And here's the truth nobody tells you about dreams. They really don't respond to your effort. They respond to your persistence. Life responds to the ones who get back up again. And honestly, this wasn't the first time in my life I learned the difference between failing and stopping. You only guarantee one outcome by giving up. And that outcome is never reaching your dreams. And the truth is, in that moment, I learned the one thing that would change my life trajectory, that no matter what, I would try again anyway. So here's kind of an inspirational breakdown. Why trying again works. See, most people believe that success is supposed to be linear, right? But success looks more like real success. Like when you are really up against something bigger than you, something huge, it looks more like falling down 9 times and getting up one more time. There's an old Japanese proverb, fall 7 times, stand up 8. But let me add to that, it's okay to stand up slowly if you need to. It's okay to stand up shaky if you must, but stand up anyway. Try one more time. Try again anyway. Trying again is not proof of your weakness. It's evidence of your resilience. So no results, try again anyway. Let's talk about not seeing results, because that's where most people tap out. Most people cannot go through the mundane over and over again. What do they say? Success is going from failure to failure without losing enthusiasm. And I say maybe success is also going from non-improvement to non-improvement to non-improvement and continuously being enthusiastic and trying again. You know, it is incredibly easy to stay motivated when you see progress. Think about it in life. When things are moving forward and going well, you're motivated to keep on going. But the real test, the test that defines your entire destiny in life, the real life saying, okay, how bad do you want it, is whether you keep going when nothing is happening. You know, I know a runner who's got this goal that they keep on making season after season, and any other person would maybe this isn't for me, but this person keeps going because that's what's going to shape their entire destiny. Because when they have that breakthrough, when they finally break through that cellophane, nothing can stop you if nothing can stop you. It's like if you can keep going despite not getting the results you want, no matter what, eventually life says, okay, I'll just give it to you. Because the truth is, something is always happening. Sometimes it's just roots growing before the plant blade breaks the surface. Every rep is counted. Every step is stored. Every effort builds momentum, even when you don't see it. Because the truth is, the universe moves for the person who refuses to stop moving. Afraid you can't succeed? Try again anyway. Now let's talk about fear, because fear is a real thing. Fear lives inside us. It's the small voice or thought pattern that replays again and again and again. But if you can realize that that's not you, then you know that fear is not a stop sign. Yeah, think about it. Fear, it's a spotlight showing you exactly where your growth is. And one of my favorite quotes is, fear is a mile wide. You can see it, like, look at how far that goes. But it's only an inch deep. And it's only when you step into fear that you can see how shallow it truly is. Fear says you can't. And courage says try anyway. And courage only needs a whisper to win. Fear shrinks when you move towards it. Or when you step into it, you see how shallow it truly is. Confidence grows when you act in spite of fear. You know, fear is there for you to overcome, to build resilience, to build strength, to build confidence. Your fear is not proof that you do not belong. It's actually proof that you're in the exact right place. Because if I'm correct that the fear is your internal dialogue, your ego, your sense of identity, and that the whole purpose of that negative thought pattern is to keep you safe by keeping you small. Because if you go outside its vision of you, there's a risk of getting hurt. So you can imagine, as soon as you're afraid of something, that's your identity going, oh no, I'm not good enough. And that's exactly where you need to go, because it's not true. Because all it's trying to do is keep you safe by keeping you small. And I would much rather be rocked and knocked on the floor 100 times and then finally succeed than never, ever take the chance to be knocked down. So in my work, I work with a lot of people who get injured. And like right now, I'm injured. And it's hard because like the fear, the ego is going to go, oh, it's going to be forever, and maybe you should stop, and maybe you're too old, and like this is my spiral that I happen. And this is especially for athletes, runners, the fighters out there, the ones whose body have taken hits and whose spirits feel bruised, because like I'm there too. Injury feels unfair. It feels like betrayal. It feels like starting over, but you're not starting from scratch. I'm going to say this to myself too, right? Not starting from scratch. You're starting from experience. Yeah, do you have to back off and recover, and you have to start up slow and slowly, progressively load the tissues of the body so your body can adapt back to the load? Yes. So you heal, you recover, and you return stronger. Because you learn to sit with yourself in quiet. You learn to spiral and then bring yourself back. You learn to be with the fear and try again anyway. And the moment you take that first step back, you'll realize you were never lost in the fire. You never lost the fire. It was sitting there waiting for you. So tired. If you're tired, rest, then try again anyway. You know, it's crazy. If you are a highly effective person who pushes yourself real hard and you have that belief somewhere in the background, or you took it on from someone that life is hard and you gotta be really tough and you gotta push really hard, then you might think that Tired means weakness, and you need to push through. But tired does not mean weakness. Tired means human. We live in a culture that glorifies burnout and calls it ambition. But rest is a weapon. Rest is strategy. It's a survival mechanism. Almost everything will work out if we unplug it for a few minutes, including us. That was Anne Lemma. Rest is not quitting. Rest is preparing. Rest is reloading. Rest is like you pull back the slingshot and you stay there for a second. And then when you release, you spring forward. So here's the reason that trying again changes everything. You don't have to be the best. You don't have to be the fastest. You don't have to be the most talented. You just have to be the one who doesn't give up. Think about the people you admire. They weren't always better. They weren't always gifted. And they weren't always lucky. But what they were always relentless. Your breakthrough is not ahead of you. It's not ahead of you. It's just one more try away. Just one more try. Get up one more time. I was talking to an athlete yesterday, and it's like sometimes that dream is like this tiny little ball of light. That dream, and you go through moments when it looks like it's far away, but you gotta hold that, and you gotta protect it. Protect it from the fear. Protect it from other people. Real life, if you really, really want to live life, you have to live independent of the opinions of others, because some people are going to start wavering in their belief of you. When you go through injury after injury, when you don't have successes, when you don't improve over time, even you can spiral, and your mind can start asking you, is this really for me? And what you got to do is, if you have a dream that was given to you, imagine it as a little tiny ball of light, right? And it just needs to be protected, It's like, I always think of a metaphor of like a plant, right? You have this little plant, then maybe this is your dream, and you plant it, and at first you gotta like gently water it, make sure there's not too much heat, and you're gonna have to pull all the weeds, all the negative, the fear away from it, and you gotta like nurture it and protect it, and you might have to put it in a little cage as it's breaking through the surface to prevent some kind of a predator from coming along and eating it. And you got to nurture it and keep on growing. You got to keep it from the cold in the winter, the times when things aren't going your way. And the truth is, you just have to continuously protect that little plant, that little ball of light. In the hardest times, you got to hold it. You got to keep it safe. And you got to try one more time. Try again. Anyway. 2 years of failure or no improvement, try again anyway. 3 years, try again anyway. Injury after injury, try again anyway. How many times is enough? There is no number. Just try again anyway. That's the only path. So if today you felt like stopping, and I've been there, let this be the sign you needed. Let this episode be the sign you needed. If you felt like giving up on your dream, let this be a message from life telling you that it's okay to rest, to protect that little dream and nurture it so it can grow. Truthfully, no matter what stands in front of you, no matter how heavy the fear, no matter how slow the progress, no matter how tired you are, try again anyway. Your future self is cheering for you, praying that you just continue. Just one more, just one more, just one more time. It's even like lately, I'm looking at what I'm doing with this podcast and the stuff I'm trying to promote, and it doesn't feel like it's landing that much out there in life. And I keep on tripping over, like spiraling. Maybe I should do less. Maybe I should quit. Maybe I should move on. And yet there's something, and it's got to be intuition or something that tells me just keep on going. Just keep on going. One more episode, one more episode, one more episode. And to what end, I don't know, but maybe as I develop my message the way what I'm trying to get out there so it can land on some people, maybe this is what I'm supposed to be doing. So I'm just going to keep on trying again anyway. I'm going to try scared. I'm going to try uninspired. I'm going to try doubting. I'm going to try depressed. I'm going to try frustrated. But I'm just going to try again anyway. And please, you come down this path with me. Let's just start this movement called Try Again Anyway. Because there's only one guarantee that you will never reach your dream. And that's when you stop trying again. So try again anyway. Thank you for hanging out with me. Time is valuable. There's so much going on. So I'm grateful that you listened. Grateful that you made it this far. I hope there's been something in here for you. And if there has, and you know somebody in your life that could really use kind of this conversation, please send it to them. Help me work on my goal to have a positive impact on as many people on this planet while I'm here. And to have that impact ripple out into eternity. Keep trying again anyway. And keep building your own inner advocate.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Your Inner Advocate, a podcast by Kimen Petersen, formerly Conversations with Kimen. If you found value in today's episode, please follow, like, and share the podcast with someone who you think may benefit from it. You can listen on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Podbean, and connect on Instagram at your_inner_advocate. Until next time, keep listening to and developing your inner advocate.